From the Home Slice News Center, this is the Daily Slice for Thursday, April 27th, 2023. I'm D-Ray Knight. This is what's going on. Governor Noem is working to cut red tape for obtaining certain state government jobs. Noem signed an executive order this week aimed at limiting the need for a bachelor's degree as a requirement for some state jobs. Leaders with the state's Bureau of Human Resources will be reviewing job postings to evaluate if a bachelor's degree should be required. Noem says it's important to not unnecessarily disqualify potential workers who could fill open jobs. The downtown Rapid City parking garage will be closing soon. Amy Rose has the details. Amy, when is the garage going to be closed?
Sunday evening. Then crews can move into the next phase of renovations. This will allow workers to complete a concrete treatment on all floors and major structural renovation in the driving lanes. The parking structure is estimated to be closed for about 6 weeks. During the business day, it's suggested that the public use metered parking downtown. People can also park during evening hours and on weekends at any city-leased parking lots.
South Dakota School of Mines students are getting the opportunity to practice glassblowing. The school held a ribbon cutting this week for its new glassblowing lab. Professor Katrina Donovan says learning glassblowing techniques will benefit students' education in science and engineering. The school is planning to open the lab to the public in the fall. In national and international news, House Republicans have narrowly passed a sweeping debt ceiling package as they try to push President Biden into negotiations on federal spending. It's the start of efforts to avoid a potentially catastrophic government debt default this summer. Biden has threatened to veto the bill over the budget limits that are attached. The president says he's happy to talk with Speaker Kevin McCarthy, but will not negotiate over America's legal debt obligations. The Republican plan would raise the debt ceiling by $1.5 trillion in exchange for steep spending restrictions that Democrats oppose. The White House insists the debt ceiling must be lifted with no strings attached to ensure America pays its bills. U.S. economic growth slowed in the first quarter of this year. Amy Rose has more. Amy.
Despite surging interest rates, punishing inflation, and global turbulence, the U.S. economy stood firm last year. From employers to consumers, the picture was one of surprising resilience. This year may be shaping up as a more downbeat story. The economy is widely expected to decelerate steadily and to slip into a recession sometime this year. Some early such signs could begin to emerge Thursday when the government will issue its first estimate of the economy's performance in the first 3 months of 2023. Forecasters have predicted that the gross domestic product, the broadcast measure of economic output, grew at a 1.9% annual rate from January through March.
A federal appeals court has cleared the way for former Vice President Mike Pence to testify before a grand jury investigating efforts to undo the results of the 2020 presidential election, rejecting a bid by former President Donald Trump to block the testimony. It was not immediately clear what day Pence might appear before the grand jury, which for months has been investigating the events preceding the January 6, 2021 insurrection at the U.S. Capitol and efforts by Trump and his allies to subvert the outcome. But his testimony would be a milestone moment in the investigation and would likely give prosecutors a key first-person account as they press forward. Your weather forecast from the Home Slice Weather Center. Windy with scattered thunderstorms and a high of 62. Windy tonight with a low of 36. And that was your Daily Slice for Thursday, April 27th, 2023. The Daily Slice is a production of the Home Slice Media Group, hosted by D-Ray Knight with Amy Rose. Executive producer Mark Houston. Engineered by Chris Jacquez. I'm D-Ray Knight. Have a great day.